Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. So today we are going to start a series of lectures on the endocrine system. And let's first start with the introduction to endocrine system. Fine. We all know that our all body functions are regulated by two systems in our body. Okay? Our all body functions, whatever body function is being performed inside, these body functions are regulated by two systems in our body. One is the nervous system, and the second is endocrine system. We all know that nervous system regulates our body functions by nerve impulses. And these nerve impulses, which are also called as action potentials, and these action potentials trigger the release of a messenger, and that messenger is called as neurotransmitter. Fine. I've told you that all the body functions, whatever is being performed inside the body, these body functions are regulated or controlled by two systems in our body. One is the nervous system and second is the endocrine system. These are the two major control systems in our body. When we talk about the control by the nervous system controls our body functions through nerve impulses, which are called as action potentials, and these action potentials trigger the release of messengers, which are called as neurotransmitters. And when we talk about endocrine system, this endocrine system also controls the body functions by releasing a messenger, and that chemical messenger is called as hormone. Fine. So here the nervous system is releasing the neurotransmitter for controlling the body functions, and here the endocrine system is releasing the hormones for controlling the body functions. Okay. Now, when we talk about this hormone, I have told you it's a chemical messenger. It is a chemical messenger, okay, which is released by the endocrine glands. Okay, this messenger is released by glands, which are the endocrine glands. Okay, and we all know that endocrine glands are ductless glands. So these glands are releasing these hormones into interstitial fluid. And interstitial fluid is the extracellular fluid which is present outside the cells. So when these glandular cells release these hormones are released into interstitial fluid, and from interstitial fluid these hormones go into the bloodstream. And through blood these hormones are transported to all the cells of the body, okay, throughout the body. Fine. So endocrine system is controlling the body functions by releasing these chemical messengers which are called as hormones, and these hormones are actually released by the glands, okay, glands, that they are the endocrine glands, and these glands release these hormones into interstitial fluid, and from interstitial fluid they go into the bloodstream, and through bloodstream these hormones are delivered to all the cells of the body. Okay, now these neurotransmitters, sometimes these neurotransmitters and hormones, okay, sometimes some chemical messengers act as both neurotransmitters as well as hormones. Okay, for example, norepinephrine or epinephrine. Fine. Norepinephrine, we already know that the postganglionic sympathetic neurons, okay, sympathetic nervous system के postganglionic neurons जो है, they are releasing a neurotransmitter called as norepinephrine. Fine. So there, this norepinephrine is released as a neurotransmitter, okay, but there is one gland in our body which is called as adrenal gland, okay, that is called as adrenal gland, adrenal medulla. Okay, adrenal gland has got two parts, adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. So this adrenal medulla is releasing a hormone. That hormone is norepinephrine. Okay, so sometimes sometimes some chemical messengers are released as the neurotransmitters as well as the hormones, and the example is norepinephrine, which is secreted as neurotransmitter by postganglionic sympathetic neurons or sympathetic postganglionic neurons. Okay, they are releasing the norepinephrine as neurotransmitter, and this norepinephrine is released as a hormone as well by the chromaffin cells of adrenal medulla. Okay, so we can say that all our body's functions are regulated or controlled by nervous system as well as the endocrine system. Okay, and both these are releasing the chemical messengers, neurotransmitters by the nervous system and the hormones by endocrine system. Okay, now let's have a look on the basic and general comparisons of the nervous system and the endocrine system. So as I have already told you that the nervous system, and here is the endocrine system. The nervous system releases the chemical messengers which are called as neurotransmitters, and the endocrine system is releasing the chemical messengers which are called as hormones. Okay, so first let us discuss about the site of mediator action. Okay, these mediators, these chemical mediators or chemical messengers, these इनकी जो है site क्या रहती है? What is the site of action of these mediators or messengers? Okay, so let me write it here. Site of mediator action. So as far as the site of mediator action of these neurotransmitters, site of action of these neurotransmitters is concerned, these neurotransmitters act locally. Okay, these neurotransmitters act locally in response to nerve impulses. Okay, these neurotransmitters are released. These neurotransmitters are released, and they are released when they are triggered by the nerve impulses. Okay, and they are released locally, or we can say the site of action is locally, and the hormones which are released by the endocrine glands, they are delivered to the tissues throughout the body. Okay, as I've already told that the hormones are released into interstitial fluid, and from interstitial fluid they go into the blood. Okay, and blood is circulating throughout the body. So these hormones, they are released and they are taken throughout the body. Okay, or they are delivered throughout the body. Okay, and this neurotransmitters की जो site of action होता है, that is close to the release. Okay, जो इसकी जो action होता है, site of action, that is close to the site of release. Close to site of release. Fine, that is this neurotransmitter, it shows its action at the site close to the release. Where it is released, close to that it shows its action. Okay, इसकी जो site of action रहता है, that is close to where it is released. Fine, but when we talk about the hormones, they where they are released, actually इनका जो action रहता है, that is far. Okay, very far from the site of release. Okay, far from site of release. I have already told you, suppose one of the endocrine gland is pituitary gland. Okay, pituitary gland, and pituitary gland जो है, that is present near the brain. Okay, and pituitary gland is releasing the hormones. One of the hormone is growth hormone. Okay, and that growth hormone is released from the pituitary gland, which is there near the brain, and that growth hormone is released into the bloodstream, and through blood this growth hormone reaches throughout the body to the different cells of the body, and it shows its action far from the site of release. Okay, it does not only show the action near the brain, but it shows its action throughout the body in different parts of the body. But when we talk about this neurotransmitter, इसकी जो site of action रहता है, that is close to the site of release. Okay, suppose this is the preganglionic neuron. Okay, and here is the postganglionic neuron. Okay, or we can say there is one neuron and there is second neuron, and in between there is synapse. Okay, here is the synapse. Fine. Here the neurotransmitter is released. Neurotransmitter is released, and that neurotransmitter shows its action on the postsynaptic membrane. Okay, postsynaptic membrane has got the receptors for this neurotransmitter, where this neurotransmitter binds and shows its action. Okay, so it shows its action very close to the site of release when we talk about neurotransmitters. But when we talk about hormones, the site of mediator action, that is site of hormones, that is far from the site of release. Okay, so nervous system site of mediator action is close to the site of release, and endocrine system site of action, mediator action, is far from the site of release. Okay, then the types of target organs. What type of organs जो है it is acting on or it is controlling? Fine. Nervous system जो है, इसके जो target organs रहते हैं, they are usually muscles. Okay, they are usually muscles, either smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, or skeletal muscle. Then glands and other neurons. Fine. So the type of target organ for the nervous system is, it can be muscles, usually muscles, and muscles can be smooth muscles, can be cardiac muscles, can be skeletal muscles. And then the target organ can be gland, and it can be other neurons like I have shown here. Okay, one neuron is stimulating the other neuron by the release of neurotransmitter. Fine. And when we talk about the types of target organs of the endocrine system, it is actually the cells throughout the body. Cells throughout the body. Okay, it is not specific to muscles, it is not specific to glands, it's not specific to neurons. It can be the cells, the different types of cells throughout the body. Okay, then when we talk about the time to onset of action, time to onset of action, okay, that means what is the onset of action? Okay, how fast it is actually making its action. Okay, nervous system as well as the endocrine system. Okay, in case of nervous system, it is very fast. Okay, it is usually very fast, and the onset of action is actually milliseconds. So within the fractions of seconds, the nervous system, the neurotransmitters, they are making its action, okay, or they are making their action. Fine. And when we talk about the endocrine system, it can be longer, it can be shorter, it ranges from seconds, okay, it can take minutes, it can take hours, and it can take even days, okay, to make its action. Fine. So when we talk about the neurotransmitter, they are making their action very fast within the milliseconds. Okay, and when we talk about the endocrine system, the hormones of endocrine system, their action can be very fast or it can be slow. Okay, and the onset of action ranges from seconds up to days. Fine. Then the duration of action. The duration of action. For how long their action remains actually. Fine. The duration of action. Okay. And in case of nervous system, it is generally briefer. Okay. And in case of the endocrine system or the hormones, it is generally longer. Fine. So this is the brief comparison of the action of nervous system or the control by the nervous system and endocrine system. Fine. First, the chemical mediator released by the nervous system is neurotransmitter, and the chemical mediator by the endocrine system is hormones. Fine. Then the site of mediator action is close to the site of release in case of nervous system, and it is far from the site of release in case of endocrine system. Then the types of target organs in case of nervous system, it can be muscles, it can be glands, it can be other neurons, and in case of endocrine system, it can be cells throughout the body. And the time of onset of action is very fast in nervous system, and it can be fast or slow in case of endocrine system. Then the duration of action is generally briefer in nervous system, and it is generally longer in case of endocrine system. Fine. And now, in both the cases, whether it is the control by the nervous system or the control by the endocrine system, in both the cases, these chemical mediators, whether it is neurotransmitter released by the nervous system or the hormones released by the endocrine system, to make their action wherever they have to go, wherever the target organ is, to make their action, there should be the receptors. There should be the receptors present on the target organs. Okay, when there are receptors present on the target organs, then only neurotransmitters as well as the hormones can make their action. So it is the receptors which are actually making the action of neurotransmitters or the hormones possible in the target organs. Okay, so this is the basic introduction about the endocrine system and the comparison of the control by the nervous system and endocrine system. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please share it with your friends. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do it and press the bell icon so that you can watch my upcoming videos on the go. Thank you. Allah Hafiz. God bless.